The world of Final Fantasy VI begins in a time when magic, once feared and lost, has returned in the form of strange beings known as Espers. Long ago, these creatures nearly destroyed the world in a cataclysm called the War of the Magi, but history faded into myth. Now the rising Gestalian Empire seeks to harness the power of Espers and rule all. The story opens with a young woman, enslaved by a crown of control. Her name is Terra Branford, though she does not yet remember it. Possessing innate magical power, something unseen in centuries, she is forced to serve the Empire as a living weapon. Alongside two Imperial soldiers, Biggs and Wedge, she pilots a hulking machine called a Magitek armor across the snowy mines of Narshe. Their mission: capture a newly discovered Esper frozen in ice. But when Terra approaches the creature, something unexpected happens. The Esper reacts violently, unleashing a massive surge of energy. Biggs and Wedge are annihilated, and Terra is left unconscious, her slave crown broken in the chaos. Rescued by a kindly man in Narshe, Terra awakens confused, unsure of her past or who she truly is. The Empire's pursuit is relentless, and soon Terra crosses paths with a charismatic thief who insists on calling himself a treasure hunter named Locke Cole. Locke, working with the resistance movement known as the Returners, vows to protect her. Together they flee Narshe's forces, aided by the adorable Moogle clan dwelling in the mines. Their escape sets into motion Terra's involvement in a battle far greater than she could have imagined. Terra is brought before Banon, the leader of the Returners, who pleads for her aid against the Empire. Though frightened of her power and what it means, she agrees to travel with them. Along the way, new companions join: Edgar Ronnie Figaro, the clever king of Figaro Castle, and his hot-headed brother Sabin, a martial artist who chose freedom over the throne. From this point, the story unfolds across many threads. The player follows not only Terra and Locke, but also warriors scattered across the world. Celis Cere, a defector from the Empire's army, joins after Locke rescues her from imprisonment. Cheyenne Garamonde, a loyal knight of Doma, loses his kingdom and family when the Empire's mad court jester, Kefka Palazzo, poisons Doma's river, killing all within. The tragedy forges Cheyenne's unshakable hatred for Kefka. Meanwhile, Sabin is swept into his own journey. As their paths intertwine, the Empire continues its ruthless hunt for Espers. Emperor Gestal and Kefka seek to capture these beings, drain their magical essence, and forge Magitek, weapons of war more devastating than any army. Terra, discovering her unique link to Espers, becomes central to this conflict. When she encounters a being like herself, she undergoes a terrifying transformation, revealing her part Esper heritage. Though feared at first, her companions reassure her that she belongs with them, and her courage begins to grow. The Returners launch daring missions to weaken the Empire, from infiltrating factories that enslave Espers to defending the northern mines of Narshe. Their greatest stand comes when Kefka himself leads the Imperial army to claim the frozen Esper there. In an epic battle upon the cliffs, the heroes rally the people of Narshe and repel the assault. Yet the Esper reacts violently again, vanishing, and Terra loses herself in another transformation, fleeing in confusion to the Esper city of Zozo. There she confronts her true nature and begins to understand her destiny. Emperor Gestal invites the Returners to a supposed truce, claiming he no longer wishes to pursue Espers. Though skeptical, the heroes agree to accompany him to the sealed land of the Espers. It is there, upon the floating continent, that Kefka's treachery is fully revealed. Manipulating both Gestal and the Espers, Kefka absorbs their power, turning on his own emperor and murdering him in cold blood. Upon the floating continent rests the Warring Triad, three ancient statues embodying the gods of magic. They hold the balance of the world in place, their energies both destructive and stabilizing. Kefka, drunk with newfound power, disturbs their alignment, ignoring Gestal's desperate warnings. The sky splits, the earth quakes, and continents tear apart as Kefka unleashes the full might of the Triad. The Returners attempt to escape aboard Setzer's airship, battling through monstrous foes and even confronting Kefka himself. But it is too late. With a maniacal laugh, Kefka seizes control and remakes the world in his own twisted image. The sky burns, the oceans boil, and mountains crumble. The age of the Empire ends not with victory, but with Kefka's mad destruction. The world as it was has ended. What remains is a world of ruin, where hope itself seems lost. Yet scattered survivors cling to life, and the Returners must reunite, challenge Kefka's godlike reign, and restore balance to a shattered land. The world has ended. The skies are scorched, the seas turn to poison, and the once thriving lands reduced to ash and ruin. A year has passed since Kefka seized the power of the Warring Triad, and remade the world into his own playground of despair. Perched atop a colossal tower of Kefka, he radiates destructive beams of magic, striking down villages and forests at whim, keeping humanity broken and fearful. This is the world of ruin. The story continues with Celeste Cher, who awakens on a remote island. She has been in a coma for a year, tended by the old scientist Sid, once loyal to the Empire. Alone with him, she learns of the world's ruin and wonders if anyone else survived. Depending on Sid's fate, whether he lives or dies based on her care, she is either given hope to continue or driven by grief to leap from a cliff, only to survive and resolve to press onward. With nothing but courage and a raft, she sets sail to find her friends. Across the shattered world, the survivors of the returners are scattered. Sabin holds up a collapsing house with his bare hands to save villagers. Scene broods in the haunted wreckage of Doma Castle, tormented by the spirits of his family, until his companions free him from despair. Locke, driven by guilt, scours the world for a way to revive his lost love Rachel, ultimately learning that he cannot cling to the past forever. Setzer, once a flamboyant gambler, wallows in hopelessness until Siles reignites his daring spirit. Even Terra, who now protects orphans in the ruined town of Mobliz, struggles with her identity, questioning whether she can still fight after embracing her humanity. Strago, the elder mage, is manipulated by a cult that worships Kefka, but is rescued by his granddaughter Relm, whose artistic talents prove invaluable. Shadow, the mercenary, faces his own mortality and the sins of his past as a father, hinting at his hidden connection to Relm. Even the feral youth Gao has his moment of choice, when the heroes reunite him with the father who abandoned him, though their bond is bittersweet. Through perseverance, the returners gather again, not bound by orders or rebellion, but by choice, each one deciding that life, no matter how broken, is still worth fighting for. Together, they set their sights on Kefka's tower, determined to end his reign of terror. But Kefka, now a god of destruction, does not merely threaten humanity's survival. The power of the Triad flows unchecked through him, and the balance of the world teeters on final collapse. If he is not stopped, existence itself will be erased. The heroes storm Kefka's tower, a twisted amalgam of wreckage and ruined cities fused by his magic. The climb is perilous, demanding every ounce of strength and resolve. The returners confront nightmarish guardians, remnants of the Empire's war machines, and echoes of Espers long gone. The air grows heavier with magic as they approach the peak. At last they stand before Kefka. No longer a clown in garish paint, he is now a towering figure of divine madness, his body infused with raw magic. Yet his laughter remains mocking and cruel. He declares that all existence is meaningless, that hope, love, and life itself are delusions to be burned away. His only joy is in destruction, for destruction's sake. The final battle begins, a struggle not only against Kefka's immense power but against despair itself. The heroes ascend through tiers of monstrous forms, each more grotesque and godlike than the last, manifestations of Kefka's stolen divinity. At the summit, they face him as he truly is, a radiant figure of divine wrath, wings spread wielding the flames of annihilation. But united, the returners prove stronger. Each character's growth, each moment of pain and resilience converges in this battle. Terra, once afraid of her identity, embraces her full power, fighting not out of fear, but for love. Celes, Locke, Sabin, Edgar, Cyan, and the others strike with all they have, their determination unshaken. At last, Kefka is defeated. As his tower collapses, the world begins to unravel. Magic itself, born of the Espers and the Triad, fades from existence. The Espers vanish, their essence dissolving into the ether. Terra, as a half-Esper, begins to fade as well. But through her choice to embrace humanity, she clings to life. The airship Blackjack carries the survivors away as Kefka's reign ends in fire and ruin. In the aftermath, the world breathes again. The skies clear, the earth begins to heal, and humanity dares to hope. Though magic is gone, the bonds between people remain and life continues. Terra smiles for the first time, not as a weapon or an experiment, but as herself, free, human, and whole. Thus concludes the saga of Final Fantasy VI, a tale not only of gods and empires, but of people who found meaning in a ruined world and stood together against despair. Hope, fragile yet enduring, remains the greatest power of all. Don't forget to like and subscribe.